What's up, YouTube? It's Onion Bomb here on Ascent
Who?
Sports. And welcome to our NFL playoff predictions. I am being joined by the whole squad here. We got Isaiah, Steven, and Jimmy, and we are going to predict the entire NFL playoffs for 2020-2021. We're going to do give you guys an entire bracket, just like we did with preseason. And if you missed it, we're also going week by week. So if you watch that video, yes, we're gonna have the same wild card games, but of course, we're gonna build on that and go to the divisional and just the entire playoffs before anything else happens. This is kind of aside from our week by week prediction series. So yeah, without further ado, guys, let's just get right into these NFL brackets. Alright, I'll start us off here with my bracket. Starting off from the wild card AFC side, we have the Ravens and the Titans up first. I do believe the Ravens get one over the Titans after what happened last year in the playoffs. And not only that, in the regular season this year, I think the Ravens finally get a playoff win with Lamar Jackson and finally beat the Titans and aren't quite the kryptonite like the Chiefs are. I move on to the Colts and the Bills. I have the Bills in that one. I think they're a much better team than the Colts. And Phillip Rivers can tweak. So yeah, I just think the Bills are the better team and more of a complete team. And I think they'll have a decent playoff run here. And then the Browns and the Steelers. And of course, I'm going with the Steelers, with the Browns, their COVID problems with other players and their head coach, and just because this was a 2-point game when the Steelers were benching, I just think the Steelers are a better team, so I think the Steelers move on in the playoffs. That makes my divisional round in the AFC Chiefs and Ravens, and Bills and Steelers. For the Chiefs and Ravens, like I mentioned with the kryptonite, I have the Chiefs moving on, beating the Ravens. This Ravens just can't seem to beat them. And also, I just think they're the Chiefs, really good team. I just don't see them being one and done in the playoffs. And with the Bills and the Steelers, here comes maybe a little bit of controversy, maybe a little bit of bias, you could say, but I don't think too much. I actually have the Steelers moving on this game, beating the Bills. I know what happened the first time these two teams played this season, and even in recent history, even last year, it wasn't too good for the Steelers, but I really do believe the Steelers are at full force and are at 100% playing well. I think they can beat the Bills, even if the Bills are also 100%. I think this is a good game. I think the Steelers move on, making my AFC Championship Chiefs and Steelers. And no, I'm not completely biased here, because I do believe the Chiefs are moving on, and they are my AFC Super Bowl team. I do think it's not going to be the narrative that everyone was saying, how the Chiefs were going to get, we're going to kill the Steelers. I think this is going to be a very close game. In fact, it could be less than a touchdown score. I think the Steelers are going to play well, but the Chiefs are just the Chiefs. They're going to play a bit better, and they're going to move on to the Super Bowl. So, my NFC side of the playoffs here, the wild cards with the Bears and the Saints. I think the Saints are going to move on. This is probably Drew Brees' last of the year. That's what a lot of reports are saying. I think they'll at least get it done over the Bears, which they're a much better team than the Bears. Bears are a team that I didn't even think were going to play it. I highly expected the Cardinals to, but they didn't. I didn't even expect the Bears to make it to the playoffs, so yeah. I think the Saints are going to win that. Then with the Seahawks and the Rams, I have the Seahawks moving on. I think they are the slightly better team there in that divisional matchup. It is a good game, though. And then the Buccaneers and the football team. Yeah, I have the Buccaneers. I don't think they're going to be one and done either, even though some people might think they are. And they do tweak sometimes, that's way more than they should with their talent. But I think the Buccaneers are going to move on, and I just don't see any NFC East team winning any playoff game this year. I never saw it for a while now, and I'm going to stick to that. That's making my NFC divisional round Saints and Seahawks and Buccaneers and Packers. for the Saints and the Seahawks, I actually have the Seahawks moving on. I don't know. It's just even with like this Drew Brees, this could be his last year. Like I feel like they've been saying that for a while, and it just something always happens. Saints always trip up in the playoffs. I think they're gonna do it here at the Seahawks. I know the Seahawks have been in a little bit of a funk themselves, but I think they'll get out of it for the playoffs, and I think they'll be a really good team. I think the Seahawks are going to beat the Saints, and the Saints are unfortunately going to have another disappointing year in the playoffs. And then the Buccaneers and the Packers. I have the Packers moving on in that one. I know the first time this game got played, the Buccaneers killed the Packers, but I have a revenge game here, and I just don't think the Packers are going to be one and done, especially not how well Aaron Rodgers is playing. That makes my NFC Championship the Seahawks and the Packers. And I think history is going to repeat itself. The Seahawks and Packers have had a lot of close playoff games, controversial playoff games, a lot of Seahawks victories, it seems like, at least in recent history. And I think the Seahawks are going to get another one here. I have the Seahawks beating the Packers, and they are my Super Bowl team on the NFC side, making my Super Bowl Chiefs and Seahawks. Yes, I am sticking with my preseason Super Bowl prediction, and I'm also sticking with the outcome. If you've seen that, you know I have the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl and two-peating. I am sticking to this prediction I had in the beginning of the season. Of course, not all of the same playoff teams I predicted, but I think this is going to happen. I just still think the Chiefs are a really good team. I think they're going to get one more before cap stuff rears its ugly head and stuff like that. And, yeah. That is my NFL 2020 playoff bracket before anything happens.
All right. Well, starting with me, we got the Ravens at the Titans, and I'm going with the Ravens. I just think they're a little more solid than the Titans. That's really it. And then we have the Colts at the Bills. Bills, plain simple. I think they're just a better team. And then we got the Browns at the Steelers. I just think the Steelers are a better team, and then on top of that, the Browns are having COVID issues. Their head coach is out. Several of their other coaching staff is out. A half dozen of their players are out, maybe even more. So, yeah, that gives the Steelers even more benefit. So then we have our divisional games. We have the Ravens at the Chiefs. And as Brenden said, the Chiefs do have the Ravens number. So I'm going with the Chiefs. I just have more faith in them as well. And then we have the Bills we have the Steelers at the Bills. And this might be a little biased because, as you guys all know, we're all Steelers fans. But I am confident that we can beat the Bills. So I am going to be taking the Steelers here. And that leaves as the same as Brendan's, a Kansas City Chiefs versus Pittsburgh Steelers AFC Championship game. Of course, the Steelers are at the Chiefs. And, this is going to be controversial, but I'm taking the Steelers. I'm taking the Steelers to go to the Super Bowl. People are going to obviously call bias and call, whatever. But I ever since we went 11-0, I've truly had confidence in this team. Once again, not only as a fan, but just from an outside perspective. Obviously we went through that rough patch of losing to the football team, losing to the Bills, who are a good team, and losing to the Bengals. And we did lose to the Browns, but of course that was, we benched all our good players. So, I don't think that 11-0 was hollow. I think it stayed a lot. People will also say we had an easy schedule, but, no matter how easy it is, it's not easy to go 11-0. That's just period. So now we're moving to the NFC. We have the Bears at the Saints. I'm picking the Saints. Bears barely got in the playoffs. They got lucky that the Cardinals started flopping at the end. So, yeah, I'm going with the Saints. I just think they're a better team. Then we have the Rams at the Seahawks. I'm picking the Seahawks. I think they're a better team. Then we have the Bucks at the football team, and I'm picking the Bucks. I just I just don't see the football team being the Bucks. I just can't. Although obviously the football team has been turning up the gears a little bit lately, but I I just don't have the confidence in them yet. And then we have, for the divisional games, we have the Seahawks at the Saints, and just like Brenden, I'm taking the Seahawks. The last, I think, maybe 4 or 5 seasons, the Saints have just been choking, maybe even longer, just choking in the playoffs. And for some reason, I just don't see that streak ending. So I'm taking the Seahawks. And then we have the Bucks at the Packers. And just like Brenden as well, I am taking the Packers. I think this is where the Bucks get a halting stop, and the Packers take their revenge because the Bucks absolutely annihilated them in the regular season. So for our NFC Championship game, in my bracket, we have the Seahawks at the Packers, and this is where I differentiate from Brenden, and I'm taking the Packers. I think the Packers go to the Super Bowl. I think they're a better team than the Seahawks, although the Seahawks can beat them. I don't think there's a question about that, but I think the Packers would win. It's just, my prediction. And that leaves a Steelers-Packers rematch Super Bowl exactly 10 years later. So, because the last time these two faced off in the Super Bowl was 2011, and now we're in 2021. And for the Super Bowl winner, I am taking the revengeful team, which is obviously the Steelers. I think we obviously, if it's a rematch against the Packers or the Seahawks, I would take the Steelers. If it was any other team, I would honestly, if it was the Saints or the Bucks, I would take them just because. But if we're playing the Packers again or the Seahawks, I don't know. So it doesn't matter because I'm picking the Packers. But yeah, I'm taking the Steelers over the Packers. I think we get our revenge and we win the Super Bowl.
Starting in the AFC, we have the Ravens and Titans. I am going with the Ravens. I just think the Ravens are better. And then we have Colts, Bills. I got the Bills. I just honestly don't think the Colts are very good. I'm back on that train. And then the Steelers and Browns. I got the Browns. If we lose this game, I'm gonna kill myself. So
you said the Browns.
Yeah. Oh, I said the Browns. Oh shit.
Yeah.
No. I have the Steelers. I really hope we don't lose to the Browns. And then in the divisional round, obviously it's the Chiefs and Ravens, and I too have the Chiefs over the Ravens. I just think the Chiefs are too good. And then the Bills and Steelers, I actually have the Steelers as well. I think it's not like an impossible game as like people would seem to make it out to be. I don't think it's that crazy of us to beat them. But we could also easily lose it. Like the Bills are a pretty good team. So whatever. Probably being biased, oh well. So my AFC Championship would be Chiefs Steelers, and I'm taking the Chiefs. I have them going back to the Super Bowl. And yeah, if I'm being biased about the Steelers, throw the Bills in there, and I think the Bills are going to lose too. So, oh well. Going to the NFC, we have the Bears and Saints. I'm taking the Saints. Is Michael Thomas playing? Is he back or not?
I think so.
I think he's coming back.
All right. Well,
yes.
I think without Michael, I think without Michael Thomas, they could honestly win this game. But I mean, let's hope he's there. But either way, I have the Saints, and then Seahawks and Rams. I have the Seahawks. That's the Seahawks, and then Buccaneers and football team. I too have the Buccaneers. Shout out to the football team and Alex Smith, but I mean, come on, like this team, they didn't go out and get all these people to lose to the football team in the first round. You don't get Tom Brady for that. Like, come on. But I mean, things happen. We'll see. So in my divisional round for the NFC, we have the Saints and Seahawks. I'm actually going to take the Saints. The Saints were my my pick, I think, in the preseason, and I just think if Michael Thomas is there and Drew Brees is playing all right, he's going to have to play really good to beat them. But if he's playing like Drew Brees and Michael Thomas is there, I think they can win this game. And then obviously you have Kamara. So yeah, I have the Saints and then Buccaneers and Packers. I'm also taking the Packers. I think the Packers are going to get revenge on the Bucs, and they've just been playing really good lately compared to the Bucs, who have been kind of shaky. So my NFC Championship would be the Saints and Packers. I'm going with the Packers. I originally had the Saints to make the Super Bowl in my preseason predictions, but I don't know. I just think the Packers they're playing really good, and Aaron Rodgers is having a crazy season. So I'm taking the Packers. And then my Super Bowl versus Chiefs and Packers. This is controversial, I think, but I'm taking the Packers to win it. I think Aaron Rodgers gets his second ring.
Ooh.
All because of Pat McAfee Tuesdays, or Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays.
Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Yeah.
Shout out to Aaron Rodgers Tuesday.
All right, for the wild card weekend, I have for the Titans and Ravens. I have the Titans. For the Colts and Bills, come on, who's gonna stop Stephon Diggs? Bills gonna win that game.
So you're taking Stephon Diggs.
Yes, just Stephon Diggs. He's gonna outscore the Colts by himself. For the Browns Steelers, it's gonna be the Steelers without a doubt. Like, you really
I
lost.
didn't guarantee anything.
Oh, that is true. Oh, well.
What?
Go ahead. I forgot to guarantee something.
There's no way.
But yeah, like, come on, you don't have your head coach, and you barely beat us last week. Like, come on now. Alrighty, for the divisional, for the Chiefs against the Titans, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. Beat the Titans. For the Bills and Steelers, do I have to say this again? Who's gonna stop Stephon Diggs? With the Bills, sadly. I think Steelers had a great
You
year.
hate the Steelers.
I don't think so. Calm down. They have flaws. That's perfect. Okay, for the AFC Championship, it's the Chiefs against the Bills. I think in the first time in what? Like 30 years, it feels like? 20 years? It's going to be upset. I'm going with the Bills.
All right.
Why?
Why?
Why do you think the Bills are going to win?
Do I have to say it again and again? Who's going to stop Stephon Diggs? Nah, but really, I think it's going to be a really high-scoring game. But I have seen the Chiefs almost lose multiple times. What?
Almost lose.
Almost lose. Come on, they almost lost.
Bro, they don't be losing. Even the games they lose, like, I forget. They lost to the Raiders.
Yes, they did. They almost lost to a couple bad teams, actually. How else did they almost lose to?
I don't know. It's just funny how you said almost. Like,
Almost.
what if
Like,
they,
come on,
like...
like,
Never
they
mind.
should have won those games. Like, come on, they almost lost to the Panthers. Almost lost to the Falcons. What others?
They've had their struggles, but
Yeah, without doubt.
they are still the Chiefs.
Now to the NFC wild card. For the Bears and Saints, I'm gonna go with the Saints. Like, come on, like Michael Thomas is gonna come back. The Saints, like, come on, like the Bears. If Khalil Mack doesn't sack Breeze like 50 times this game, then Saints win. For the Seahawks and Rams, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. For the Buccaneers and the football team, like you guys said, you don't get Tom Brady and have that many weapons to lose to the football team. I'm going to the Buccaneers. For the NFC divisional games, it's going to be the Saints against the Seahawks. In my preseason follies, I had the Seahawks going all the way. But you know what? I think the Saints might sneak one in. I'm going to go with the Saints, being the Seahawks. And for the Buccaneers and Packers, I'm going to go with the Packers. And now for the NFC Championship game. be the Saints against the Packers, 1-2 seed, and I think the Packers are going to win it, bringing it to the Packers and Bills Super Bowl. All right, guys. What do you think I'm going to say for the Super Bowl winner?
If the Bills were to win, if you had them winning, what would be the reason that they won?
Who's going to stop Stephon Diggs? No, I think the Bills is going to be lucky this year. I think I sneak one in. Like, it's their time to shine. First time winning, the division won, 24 years? Like, come on. I think the Bills going to sneak one in. It's 2020 still here. Somehow. It's going to show right here with the Bills winning the Super Bowl.
Watch the Browns win.
Don't even say that.
We
I
all
like
have
it,
different
the Bills.
picks.
Yeah, okay, so I have the Chiefs, Isaiah has the Packers, Steven has the Steelers, and Jimmy has the Bills. Now, let's go with the inanimate objects. Okay, so here we have the Bulls bracket, and if you viewers don't know who haven't followed our week-by-week series, we have a plastic bowl, and I randomly pick the games out of put the teams on two separate pieces of paper, close my eyes and pick it out, and that's how I determine a winner. I made a whole playoff bracket going by that, and let me tell you, this year out of all year, that freaking shows. I think the Bull just decided to tank after doing terrible this year for week by week predictions. So, starting off with the Titans and Ravens, the Bull actually goes with the Titans. Not the most insane upset. I could actually see that. And honestly, for AFC wildcard, everything's pretty good. Colts Bills is also going with the Bills. And Browns Steelers also going with the Steelers. Nothing too big so far. Then for the divisional though, Chiefs and Titans. The Bull actually is going with the Titans to upset the Chiefs. And for the Bills and the Steelers, the Bull is going with the Bills, making the Bulls AFC Championship, the Titans and Bills. And Madden's AFC Super Bowl contender is going to be the Titans. And for the NFC side, the Buccaneers and the football team. Bulls going with the Buccaneers. It's not being that wild. For that game, at least. Rams and the Seahawks. Bulls actually going with the Rams. And then the Bears at the Saints. The Bulls actually going with the Bears. Then that leaves its NFC divisional. Buccaneers and Rams. And then Bears and Packers. And then for the Buccaneers and Rams, the Bull has the Buccaneers. That match was played up. I believe the Rams won that earlier this year. I can't remember though. It was like, I think the Rams did win that. And then the Bears and Packers. Another huge 1-seed upset. The Bull has the Bears beating its divisional rival, leaving its NFC championship, the Buccaneers and the Bears. And the Bull NFC Super Bowl contender is the Chicago Bears at the 7th seed. So the Bulls Super Bowl is Titans and Bears. Probably the weirdest Super Bowl matchup combination you could think of out of this one. And to make it even weirder, the Bull has the Bears winning, going all the way. The Bulls Super Bowl pick is the Chicago Bears.
Whoever bets $10,000 on the Bears winning the Super Bowl, if they win, they will be a very, very rich human being.
I mean, if this...
That's crazy.
What a freaking run, though. Beats the Saints in the wild card, the Packers in the divisional, the Buccaneers in the championship, then the Titans in the Super Bowl.
The first 2 games are harder than the last 2 games.
Yeah, honestly. Though the second one is a divisional rivalry, so I know I'd said, but like the Packers are still way better. Alright, and now for Madden's bracket, we have a score. We have scores for this one. The Ravens and the Titans. Man has the Titans 31-23. The Browns at the Steelers. Man's going with the Browns 31-27. 24, sorry, not that it matters. And then Bills and Colts. Man is the Bills 31-21, making its AFC divisional round Chiefs and Browns and Bills and Titans. And for a little bit, I thought Man was going to be really wild here because they love the Browns. But they didn't. They actually took the Chiefs over the Browns 28-23. And then they have the Titans beating the Bills in a very low-scoring game, 19-16, making its AFC Championship a repeat of last year's AFC Championship. Chiefs and Titans. And the Madden is going with the Chiefs, 26-10. So Madden's AFC Super Bowl contenders actually pretty normal. The Kansas City Chiefs. Now for the NFC side, the Buccaneers and the football team. Madden's going with the Buccaneers, 40-35. The Rams at the Seahawks. Madden's going with the Rams, 21-15. And the Bears, the Saints. Man has the Bears, 41-21. That makes it NFC divisional. Buccaneers and the Rams, and Bears at the Packers. For Buccaneers and Rams, Madden has the Buccaneers coming out on top, 35-24. And then the Bears and the Packers, Man has the Packers, 38-13. Not even close. Making the NFC Championship for Madden being a matchup I think most of, if not all of us, had in the divisional round. Packers and Buccaneers. Madden does not have a revenge game here. They have the Buccaneers moving on, 34-24. So Madden's Super Bowl prediction is Chiefs and Buccaneers. And Madden has the Buccaneers coming out on top, 38-35 in a very close game. That's not as weird as I thought it was going to be, honestly.
Oh, that would be 7 for Brady.
And shocker, a stacked roster wins Madden's version of the NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
So we all have different picks.
We actually,
the Bowl and Madden.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
God, pray for the Bowl. Alright, guys, those are our NFL playoff brackets. Before the playoffs go on, let us know what you guys think. We'll see how we did, and as the matchups update, we are going week by week too. We already posted a wild card video of this, so if you want a little bit more of our thoughts in depth of the wild card matchups, you can watch that. Though I don't really think we went too extra in depth, but you can catch the divisional round as we'll pick those as they get updated. We'll see who's right, who's wrong there. And yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like or dislike, subscribe or don't subscribe. No, it's always up to you. I'll see you guys in the next video you watch from me. Goodbye.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I'll make mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that